Hello, today I'm going to talk about addictions to various things like drugs, gambling, sport, love partner, sex, tobacco, addiction to alcohol, addiction to the taste of food, and so on. I will read something and then add a few words. So, do you have any clue to what is the general cause of addictions? Well, there are different types of addictions, but any addiction can be attributed to the one and only cause, the overcompensation. So what is this overcompensation? Well, we compensate a lot of things in our life to feel better with such and such living conditions so that we follow our mission on earth. This is okay because this is a planet of physical action. But if there is too much compensation, overcompensation, then arises this addiction. So with simple words, the overcompensation is when someone is craving after such and such living conditions to compensate his discontentment in himself, to release oneself in a resistance toward life, to feel the emptiness in oneself. And this occurs when we have completely saturated our backup level, or the so-called memory, with clutter, especially in the form of wantings imposed by today modern society. So we have a lot of these negative definitions, beliefs toward ourselves and the world. We have this inner resistance, even stress and worries, and so we have to overcompensate this thing with something. Yeah. Thus, the overcompensation is experienced by addicts who are full of clutter so that they hardly recognize their true inspiration and excitement over life. The more clutter we have with these negative beliefs and definitions, the harder it is to recognize our inspiration, this intuition, inner voice, this signpost of the higher self or the soul, because this is connected one to another. Consequently, the addicts want to compensate their discontentment or inner resistance with all kinds of living conditions, but which provide only temporary consolation for them. This is a never-ending dark circle, so we have to pay attention to this. So the addicts are living in inner resistance or in non-allowing toward life, which represents an acceptance, also a rebellion and tension, and of course the further addiction. So unacceptance, rebellion, tension toward the world and toward ourselves. Basically, this unacceptance, rebellion, tension is the resistance toward our beliefs and definitions. They can be unconscious or conscious. For example, we take for example, let's say gambling. What happens then? What happened then? Then if we are by playing having a positive attitude and fun, also when we are losing, pay attention. When we have this positive attitude and fun, also why we are losing, this isn't any addiction, but it is the reflection of our higher self through this persona, the mind, and there is nothing wrong with this. However, if you are losing and then also feel bad, then this is repeating day by day, week by week, month by month, then this means that we have some form of addiction to gambling. So the addicts, on the other side, if by gambling having this bad attitude, this addiction, to compensate this, overcompensate this our discontentment, to release our inner resistance, then this is going about addictions. Well, this is just one example, gambling, but today addictions are swarming. Just look around the matrix. Most often are the addictions showing exactly in relation to food. Pay attention to food, because food is most easily accessible. It is relatively cheap. It is accessible everywhere. Thus, food is the easiest way to temporarily compensate the discontentment with ourselves and the world, to release our inner resistance toward life. It is a never-ending circle. Well, basically, this is everything that I wanted to speak today. What more to say? Well, we have psychological addiction that I spoke, but then we also have this physical addiction, especially to drugs. Well, the key issue is here the psychological addiction that we have to deal with ourselves. What regards the physical addiction, this basically is lasting only for some days. It can be weeks, but no more. So we have to pay attention to this, that it comes to good compensation and not to this overcompensation. So this is all for today. Have a nice day. Bye bye.